Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping, where we review one of the top racing cars from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, we're going to Maryland for week number 8 of the racing season. Another close call, but this week it's Laurel Park in Baltimore, Maryland that noses out Gulfstream and Santa Anita. Laurel has 6 stakes races, and the pick 4 starts with race number 7 and finishes in race number 10. All stakes races in the pick 4 on Saturday. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'll be joined by my friends and racing analysts. Even though he's 3 hours ahead of us, Ree Torado is running a little bit behind tonight, so I'm going to go right over to my buddy over here, and he is still in soggy Temecula, California. It's really soggy in Temecula, California. Joe English, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good, Rich. Thanks. How about yourself?
I am doing pretty good. Still job searching as it is right now, so I should have a little bit more time. I should be a little bit better prepared than I am tonight. I will confess to everybody before we get going too deeply here, I did not get a real good look at Laurel's card tonight. So like that, I've been playing Santa Anita and Gulfstream alternatively. Joe can back me up my text for that this week.
Yes, he has. That's okay. We'll manage. We'll get through, and I'm sure Mr. Torado will join us shortly.
Absolutely. All right, we've got a new track on the horizon tonight. It's Laurel Park, and Joe, so far we've played Charlestown, we've played Morgantown, we've played Penn National, Kentucky Downs, and last week it was Tampa Bay Downs. So jump in if I missed anything. Those are what I think of as not the A tracks, not the premier tracks around the country, but right there at that next level that we've played so far on Three Broke Guys Handicapping. And just give me your opinion. Which one has been your favorite so far? Which one have you enjoyed handicapping, and which one has been the best challenge for you?
Well, I don't know. The biggest challenge, I guess, was Kentucky Downs. It's a little bit different. It's all turf racing, which I enjoy. It's just a different surface and a different type of track. And the fields were full, so those are always difficult races. The bull rings always kind of throw me. I'm never been one for two turn 6 furlong or 2 turn 6.5 furlong races. Those kind of, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how to handicap them. I guess it's just the same way we do Santa Anita, speed. But I mean, I enjoyed all of them, obviously, but I think Kentucky Downs was probably my favorite.
Get no argument out of me. I actually really enjoy Kentucky Downs. It's really one of my favorite alternate tracks, but I am going to give out a shout to the one that we played last week. I really enjoyed Tampa Bay Downs. I thought Tampa was very challenging, and even though the pick 4 didn't necessarily pay for a big amount like that, the races and the sequence and the racing itself was rather enjoyable. So I really like Tampa Bay Downs. All right. So, and again, we are still waiting for our third broke guy here. But last week, it was Tampa Bay Downs, and we hit our first pick 4 of the season. So, unfortunately, Ray can't be here to celebrate that. But for those of you who watch, we were fortunate since we left the favorite off our original ticket. So, if you like to watch our show and you're scratching your head going, wait a minute, I watched that show, and I'm not so sure that they handicapped that correctly. Due to some late scratches, we got the chalk back on our ticket later on after we got off the air. And when Miss High Tide held on for the win, we cashed for, I think it was, what, Joe, it was about $66, I think it was, for the pick 4.
Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood, 69 maybe, somewhere around there. But yeah, it was in that ballpark. We made a very, very, very modest profit.
All right, so 4 for 4 increased our hit percentage to a solid D average. We're up to 64% for the season, so we're not taking that report card home to our wives just yet. We are now 1 for 7 in the pick 4 on the season, and but we are 7 out of 8 the last 2 weeks as our hit percentage. So, broke guys kind of coming into form.
We're getting there.
Time for a brief weather update from Baltimore, Maryland. The forecast for Saturday calls for generally sunny despite few afternoon clouds. The high is 69 degrees. The winds are coming in from the southwest, and they are at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Just take note, there is a 10% chance of rain in the forecast. A total of 10 stakes races, 6 stakes on tap for Saturday. For today, we are focused on the pick 4, beginning in race number 7 and concluding in race number 4. Joe, the gates are locked and loaded. The outriders are clear, and the starter is ready to pop the gate. It's pick 4 post time.
Let's go. Hey, Rich, I just want to make one comment. Who would have ever thought you could say, gee, the weather at Laurel tomorrow in February is going to be better than the weather in Southern California?
Yeah, there you go. Who would have handicapped that one?
Yeah, not me.
All right. So we are off. Race number 7. Approximate post time is 3:30 p.m. Eastern. They're going 1 mile on the main track. It's the Miracle Wood Stakes. The purse is $75,000 for 3-year-olds only. 8 starters, and your morning line favorite at 8-5. He's in post number 4. O Dionysus for trainer Gary Capuano and ridden by Givian Toledo. Joe, you're going to have to hit leadoff for us tonight at Laurel. You get the 3-year-olds in Maryland. What do you say?
I don't mind hitting leadoff. It's no problem. My on-base percentage is pretty good. Unfortunately, I'm going chalk-eating weasel here. And it's funny because I'm trying to figure out, I've got to adapt. I like to be somebody who plays for value and doesn't always like playing the favorites, but it seems as if maybe it's just because it's the high-quality racing, or maybe it's just our dumb luck. It seems as if you almost have to include the favorite, and it's almost like the favorite wins at a really high percentage of the races we do. I almost want to go back and look at our records to see that, but you can't do it without putting the favorite in there. And I had a chance to look at Dionysus's race in the Frank Whiteley. And I'm going to go back a little bit of ways. He comes from a high percentage barn. He's based at Laurel. He broke through versus winners at Parks. He regressed. He was working a lot slower, and he regressed when he returned home back to Laurel in December. But then he bounced back with a second close to the Holy Bull winner, Irish Warcry, who ended up beating at the time, Kentucky Derby favorite, Classic Empire, over this track, and at actually not quite this distance, but basically a 1-turn mile. And then in the last race, he had a little bit of a troubled start, and he was aching to get up there and get to the lead. He never really got a chance. He was blocked in behind the horses because he had a little bit of an issue at the start. And the winner, High Roller, ended up getting the jump on him. So they were both of those horses were pretty impressive. I expect him to be on or near the lead, and what really doesn't look like there's doesn't look like there's a lot of pace in this race. So I've got to go with the favorite here. I think he's the best horse. I think he's going to be on or near the lead, and he'll probably go. He might even go wire to wire here. And the other horse that I got to go with is, I would assume, the second choice, which is the 7 High Roller. He rallied at 6. He rallied to win at 6 furlongs in his debut at 2 years old, which doesn't necessarily happen a lot. Generally, first-time starters' speed, especially at 6 furlongs, does well. He was third behind Ella Reeve, who won the Withers not that long ago. In his first against winners, dropped into a non-winners optional 50K claimer, and he showed a good rally. He drew the rail in the Whiteley, and he showed a nice dimension. He was inside, but he was about 4th early in that race, and he looked kind of like he was beaten, but he came on and he rallied, and I like the fact that Trevor McCarthy stays. So he looks like he's got a better draw. He's got 2 bullet drills since that last race, so he's in good form, and I think you have to include him as well. So basically, for me, for our show's purposes, for our pick 4, it's 4-7. It's the 2 favorites. Unfortunately, there isn't much else that I can really recommend here. In my own personal pick 4 that I'll discuss later, I do have one other horse that I did add. But for our purposes, it's the 4 and 7 in that order, the favorite over the second choice, Dionysus and High Roller. And I will now pass it back to my fellow soggy friend, Rich, in Murrieta, California. Rich, do you have anything to add? I see your check mark is on High Roller.
Yeah, I'll try and wax philosophic here for a few minutes. I've got Ray signing in, so Mr. Torado is on his way. We will soon have our New York voice to go ahead and give you his take on this one as well. As a matter of fact, I went just to be a little bit, I guess, counterpolar to Joe here. I went the exact opposite. So I went 7-4. I've got High Roller for some of these. I did not get an opportunity to watch the race. As I said, I've been playing Santa Anita and Gulfstream a little bit too much this week. And so I have not done my video viewing yet. I plan on doing that tomorrow morning. And so I didn't take a look yet at that race. I did catch that Dionysus appeared to have some trouble there at the start. And it looked like exactly what Joe said, that High Roller looked like he got the jump on him. And so I went that way for this this race as well, and I just went 7 over the 4. Kind of concurring what my fellow broke guy said. We have a tendency on this show. It's not our bad luck or anything like that, but we are kind of following the top races in the country around week after week. So one of the things that we do as a team is we get together each week and kind of look at what's out there using usually the Daily Racing Forum's stakes race calendar, and we take a look at which track has the best stakes races that are coming up. As a matter of fact, I think last week, Joe, was probably one of the closest weeks that we've ever had as far as maybe the voting public or our little voting segment was concerned, because Gulfstream had the highest paying stakes races of them all. Santa Anita had a couple of grade 2s that were there, and you had that excellent card that was there from Tampa as well. So each week we're always kind of eyeing for which track it is, and as a result, because we usually settle on which is going to have the best races, sure enough, as you all know, when you go to the best races, you usually get the best horses there, and even more often than not, the chalk starts coming home. So to kind of follow up just on what Joe was saying there is the reason that we seem to end up on so much chalk in these races is we're out there looking at what the best horses are. So, well, I know I got a text there from Mr. Trotta. I was hoping he would have come in by the time I finished my little preach there. So, Joe, you want to give us your third pick from your pick 4 and see if he joins us by the end of that one?
Yeah, sure. Hold on a minute. Okay. I guess it was the 1 Eastern Bay. He rallied. I mean, way back in his debut in December, he returned quickly to break his maiden. About 17 days later, and he was in contention in that same race in the Frank Whiteley before fading slightly in his stakes debut, and it was in his first start versus winners. The jockey and trainer combination stays together, and as Rich has underlined, 40% with a good positive ROI. Drew the rail again. Maybe at a mile, he's got a better shot to get a good trip at the rail. But again, he's a closer in a race where there's not a lot of speed. So I think he may be a little bit up against it. I would take 12-1 if I could get it. But again, he would be on my personal pick 4 ticket. I wouldn't expect that he would be anywhere with our 3 broke guys ticket, because we kind of try to narrow and keep it to some kind of a budget. So it was Eastern Bay would be my third choice in this spot.
All right, and with that, I am going to go ahead and welcome our third broke guy, Mr. Torado. Ray Torado, I see. Welcome from New York. How you doing, sir? How's it going, my friend?
Okay, not bad. Sorry, a little late here.
No problem at all. We are right on race number the race number 7, but the first segment of our pick 4. It's the Miracle Wood Stakes, and Joe got us going here. He ate the chalk, so he went with 4-7. I went with the second choice and backed it up with the chalk, so I've got 7-4. And we are up to you, Mr. Trotta. We are all anxious to hear what is my favorite Keno player got for us tonight.
Well, this is very interesting race. Like I heard just Joe said, now speed here. I do like actually an horse coming from out of town from my part. Everyone loves Rudy. It's 4-1. He might find this field. He can handle this field. He's kind of dropping. He's racing against some better horses here. He had a wide trip into Jerome, and might have cost him a little bit of placing there. El Reeve romped that race by 11 lengths, so he actually only lost by 6 lengths if you compare to other horses. So he was pretty much in the race for place. He broke his main at the distance. And, I read a tease here for Michael Dubb, Rui Rodriguez. So 4-1, good price. I'll start with that horse. I do like number 7, the chalk, High Roller. He's a winner of 2 out of 4. And I just got my notes here. Couldn't pick them out. He also ran to El Reap. High Roller did. And hold on 1 second. Got my notes here on the computer. I couldn't print them out. But I tell you about High Roller. Let's just go scroll down, Rich. He's there you go. Let's get this up here. Sorry, guys. Um, couldn't print the. Oh, what happened there? Hello? Oh boy, locked off.
Yeah, I can hear you, right?
Oh, you can? Oh,
Hmm.
something happened to the
Yeah,
screen.
I can hear you fine.
Oh, something happened to the screen. Well, this guy said that Ellery ran into he stretched out to a mile, and I think High Roller is kind of a little underlay, but I think he still has a good chance to win. I do like number 5, Butch Walker. He's 8-1. He might like the 2-10 mile. He was wider than his last. It's a pretty decent race, and he's adding bleakness for this one, so I like the price at 8-1. So I would go 6, 7, and 5.
All right. So I got Joe down with four
Oh, there
seven.
we go.
I got
There we go.
and one underneath possibly with Joe, and I've got Rich down with 7-4, and I've got Ray with 6-7-5. All righty. And I am going to go ahead and come on back to you guys, and we will move along to race number 8. There I am. All-Star Weekend, so I've got my Laker gear out. All right, race number 8. They are again going 1 mile on the main track. This is the John B. Campbell Stakes. The purse is $75,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards. 9 starters, and your morning line favorite. Yes, he is the morning line favorite for this race. He is in post number 6. It's Paige McKinney, trained by Mary Epler and ridden by Horacio Caramanos. Comes in as your 2-1 morning line favorite. All right, Joe. I know Christmas has passed, but do you see who I see? One of our old friends is in this race. I
Yeah.
Snuggly Bear.
Yeah, it's funny. I was going to send you a text earlier in the week. For those who don't remember Snuggly Bear, people in Southern California will remember Snuggly Bear. Snuggly Bear took forever to get through a maiden. I think he was one of those second-itis horses. I think he was like 7 for 9 running second until he actually finally broke through his maiden. I can't remember how long ago it was, but he was a favorite of ours. Obviously knew he was going to run second most of the time. Unfortunately, oh, absolutely. He was, and Barnes love horses like that because they always bring home money, and money always helps feed horses that can't even run second. Unfortunately, I don't think Snuggly Bear is going to be fortunate enough to run second in this spot. I'm actually going slightly against the favorite. The favorite will be on my ticket. And for those of you who weren't aware, Paige McKinney was also entered in race 10, the General George, but according to a Daily Racing Form article and the trainer, Mary Epler, he is going to run in this spot. He is not running in the General George. Anyway, that being said, I went with the number 4. I went with Super Lucky. Obviously, the horse has physical issues. He was second in this race last year after a 5-run layoff. So the fact that he's coming back off another long layoff doesn't bother me. The horse has been training at Fairhill. Last gate drill at 6 furlongs at Laurel, which is also a good sign. Obviously, he's been over here for a little bit longer. Barn is obviously good off the bench. Last 2 at Laurel with triple-digit speed figures, the 103 and the optional claimer, and then in this race last year with the 106. So the horse is a stalker. He's grade 3 placed. Trevor McCarthy is a good rider. He gets aboard here. And again, like I said, the barn does well with this move. The horse is 6 for 11 at the track. So I'm going to take a little bit of a shot against the favorite, Super Lucky. The favorite, Paige McKinney, you can't really say much about him. He's solid. He's a very good horse. 9 straight races in the exacta. He trains at Pimlico, not quite training at Laurel. 2 graded stakes placing, including winning in the General George last year. And he'll be close to the pace. So he definitely has a chance to get the money here. Again, he's the slight favorite at 2-1 in the morning line. And for my third horse, I'm actually going to include a third with us and on my own ticket. It's the 1 Cosmic Destiny. The horse is shipped in from Parks for the Native Dancer last time out. And if you see the comment, the horse was wide both turns in that race. 4 to 5 wide on the turn. So basically, having drawn the rail, he's already going to get a better trip than he got last time, at least around 1 turn. And the horse usually shows a little bit more early speed. So I would expect the horse to be closer to the lead. Solid drill on the 15th at Parks, 3rd best of 30. And I don't even know how to pronounce the first name of the jockey.
Not sure either.
Fergal Lynch
That's your boy.
gets another shot with this horse. And the horse didn't run badly behind Paige McKinney and Bodhisattva at 79-1 last time out. Like I said, better trip today. Maybe show a little bit more speed. Maybe this is the long shot that might finally get a pick for that we actually watch that pays more than $150. So it's 4-6-1 in that order for me. And I will hand it off to my New York colleague, East Coast colleague, Ray. What do you think of the Campbell? And no, this is not named after John Campbell, the driver of the Meadowlands who wins, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 races a year.
Well, tomorrow night I might even be there. I actually had a proposal for my wife to go to Laurel tomorrow, but that's a 3-hour drive. So
wow,
at this time of year,
see that hey, but we already did the weather forecast. It's supposed to be warmer there in Maryland than it is here in Southern California. So if your wife,
it's on my mind. So if you see any tweets, you never know.
Hey man, I'm saying if your wife's offering it up, take it and run. Or drive, right. Whichever.
And you know what? I'll get to see like guys tweet you before. Hey, let Paige McKinney run in both races. This horse is just, solid like a rock, boy. He's built like a horse. I think you're going to get even money or less here. 2-1, forget about it. I think you get even money, 4-5. I mean, people just love this horse, and yeah, I think this is the right move to go in the Campbell. He won last year to George, but he's more tuned to going 2 turns and the slower pace and stuff. So he's the beast of the Mid-East tracks, like I noted. And 17 wins. Hasn't made a lot of money, but he's been basically staying in those tracks, so the small purses, 100,000. So, but he's won from 7 furlongs to 9 furlongs, and he'll be he'll be right there. So he's on my top line. I do like a horse, Super Lucky, number 4. Runs well off the layoffs. He's got speed to control the race, so that might help a little bit. He's actually 6 for 11 at Laurel, 6 for 7 lifetime of his wins. Oh, at Laurel, so he obviously likes the track and just lost to Kid Cruz last year, so he'll be there. I do like an old friend of ours that we handicapped many months ago, probably in the Charlestown. Child Tribute Annuity, 10-1. I forgive his last race. Prep over the track. He ran decent, but just wasn't enough. He's usually not in this position. As you can see, the first call, he was 6 by 10 lengths, and that's not really where he wants to be. He wants to be mid-pace, mid-pack, and this might be their goal for this race. So he's Charlestown headline horse, and he won 6 out of 11 last year. So he's got speed. He could also take advantage of that, and it's a big race here for Antonio Lopez. So they're gonna be running. So that's why I would go with 6, 4, and 7 in the Campbell. All right, Rich, what do you guys say about the Campbell? John Campbell, yeah.
Yeah, I can't offer much different than what you guys have already kind of set up for me there. I liked Paige McKinney. So again, I ate the chalk in this one. 6 for 14 at Laurel, 3 for 8 at the distance with 3 seconds. Ray alluded to the fact that it's got $1.5 million in lifetime earnings, 17 for 45 with a lifetime. And when you look at this page, Paige McKinney has not been anything worse than second by, let's see. The one race that was as much as 2 lengths back was to Stanford, and there's nobody named Stanford in this particular race. So I'm going to single in this particular race. If I was going to back it up, I already heard the backup horse that I would have had, and that would be the 4, and that's Super Lucky. Michael Trombetta and Trevor McCarthy. I would have used them both. I would have put these on an equal path, if not for the long layoff. So for me, the long layoff from March of last year all the way through February of this year, Just seems like something to be cautious about. I'm aware Trombetta's okay with that move. He's also 27% off the beaten favorite. He's got Trevor McCarthy aboard, so I would back it up with the 4, but simply in case Paige McKinney ends up scratching. So I went 6 over the 4. I believe I've got Ray down there with the 4, the 6, and the 7. And I think I've got Joe down with the 4 on top, the 6, and the 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we are set. I'm coming back. And we are moving along. Going on to, I believe this is race number 9. And they are going 7 furlongs on the main track. This is the Barbara Fritchie Stakes. Grade 2, purse is $300,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. 8 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 3. By the Moon, trained by Michelle Nevin and ridden by Victor Carrasco, is 2-1 on the morning line. Ray, it's a grade 2. The purse is $300,000. My question is, where are the stars? This seems like it came up a little light.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I was very surprised. I thought they would have some little more of the heavy hitters of the sprint division.
Yeah.
Maybe they're laying off of another race after that. I'm gonna spread a little bit here. I got out of the 8, I'm gonna use 4 of them. We're gonna start off. I have a few price horses here. I'm trying to get a. We've gone chalky so far. I do like number 7, close 4 off. It's 8-1. This is her second race for layoff. She finished second here last year in this race. Picks up Mirage from New York. Karen Glocken shipping 26%. Right, well, decent interval. There was a little trouble off the layoff. 5th by 6. You see, tossed her head. She weakened, so she might have needed that race. She should be a little tighter for this one. I like the price. It's at 8-1. I like number 3, By the Moon. It's 2-1. Great stakes winner. Place first and second. Great stakes. Sets up for this. This race sets up good for her. Gonna be mid pack. Gonna make a run. The slight layoff I'm not too worried about. She's been running well the last couple of years. As you can see, grade ones. I mean, she's been racing some big horses. Cavorti, Finest City. So this is kind of like a little coming off a weak spot here for her. But I mean, I'll include the horse. She might win, and I'll get less goodbye. So she'll be in my tickets. I do like number 6, Tacrease, 6-1. This is the Interpol winner. I was a little saddened that usually I go Aqueduct on New Year's Day to watch Interpol. But you can see the races run on January 22nd, so they changed my schedule around. But I was still there, got my calendar. She just turned 4. She's getting better. She's raced a few grade 2s as 3-year-old. She's gonna need a pace. She's a closer. This track can be kind to closers a little bit. Lately it's been low speed favored. So she needs a pace meltdown. This is the other McLaughlin, so I'm using both of them. And I write teasers here from New York, so they should do well. And another horse I have in my bottom line would be High Ridge Road, number 1. This horse loves low. I'm going to try and keep her on the ticket, my ticket, personal, because she's 3 for 3, and obviously she likes low. She seems to be more effective on 2 turns, but off the layoffs, she might be a little vulnerable from the rail, and she's up in class a little bit. So, but I'll include her because I like the way that she's 3 for 3 and low, and she has affinity to the surface. All right, Joe, Barbara Fitchie. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I think a horse named Safely Kept won this race. I'm not really sure, but that was a good sprinter. So what do you think about the Barbara Fitchie?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. For our purposes, I'm going with 2 of the horses that you used. So I don't really need to elaborate much. My top choice was the favorite, By the Moon, and I'm going to use the same logic that Rich used last time when he's talking about Stanford. There is no Finest City, no Wavell Avenue, no Have You Gone Away, no Paula Silver Lighting, no cavorting, no Carolina in any of these races. Now I see Wonder Gal is in this race. The horse By the Moon beat Wonder Gal in the Acorn by 3/4 of a length, finishing second to Carolina. And the reason the By the Moon was 3-5 in that last start was the same reason that I just mentioned that I would like her today, is because she's been running against better. Usually, I don't know. It seems like there's always a Breeders' Cup hangover, and horses that run in the Breeders' Cup don't always necessarily run their best when they come back. This horse ran well, just not good enough to win. And I'm going to give him another shot. I'm going to be a little forgiving, and I like Michelle Nevin as a trainer. I almost kind of wish instead of having a local rider ride this horse, I almost kind of wanted to see a New York rider come down. But obviously, Carrasco rode last time, and she's obviously being forgiving and giving him another chance to ride this horse. And the other horse I like is the horse that beat By the Moon last time, High Ridge Road. No problem with Linda Rice. Again, I guess I'm going girl power on the trainer side here in this spot. Undefeated locally, Karamonis has been up for all 3 mounts. He's gonna be in a decent stalking position, so I don't think the rail is going to be too much of a detriment. I just hope that the speed doesn't back up into her and cause her to lose ground. But again, for me, it's a simple. It's the 1 and the 3 for 3 broke guys. And when we talk about our individual pick 4 tickets, I'll talk a little bit more about somebody else I like in this spot. But 1 and the 3 for me, for us. Rich?
Joe. The 3 and the 1. See, I went with the 1 and the 3. So I once again, you and I are just kind of going flip-flop tonight. But I had the exact same logic. I just inverted them. So I went with Linda Rice on top and Horacio Caramanos on the inside there. I did not think that the cutting back from the route to the sprint would be a problem for him at 7 furlongs. The numbers here for Linda Rice are just absolutely fantastic. And I know that Caramanos is one of the better riders that they have there at Laurel. And the horse over here has won 3 of the last 5. One of those was a second by a nose. So just an eyelash away from winning 4 of the last 5. I will take that. The other horse that I had to include on there, I would have liked to have gotten by the favorite in this particular case. But Michelle Nevin, Victor Carrasco, they actually are hitting 25% together, strangely enough. And then you've got the fact that Failed is the favorite in the last race, and the horse has just been running against so much better. So I went 1-3. Joe's 3-1. And Ray, I believe, is 3-7-6, and he's got the 1 underneath. And you're all set and coming back to the finale. Here I come. All right, one more race for us here, and we are heading into race number 10. This is 7 furlongs on the main track. It is the General George Stakes. Grade 3, the purse is $250,000 for 4-year-olds and upward. 10 starters, and your morning line favorite at 5-2 is in post number 6. That's Stalwalkin' Dude, trained by David Jacobson and ridden by Irad Ortiz. Washington, Patton, Marshall, or Custer. Joe, who's your favorite General George?
I didn't really think about it until you just asked me that question. I don't know that I really ever had one. I guess I'll say Washington because he was our first president and the father of our country. How about that? Seems like a pretty easy choice. But I guess there are I guess you could go in a different direction if you'd like. But again, I'll take Washington. Okay. As far as the race,
I was going to say, as I see here in my notes, I have it as, who is your favorite in the General George? I got it.
Okay.
My bad.
Now, okay. There you go. Now that sounds a lot better. That was a curveball if I ever saw one. Obviously, I can't hit the curveball. Give me, and maybe this is a result of last week and a lot of the cards. And Ray, I don't know if you had heard Rich and I were talking about how formful the races that we've been handicapping have been. And I don't know. I can't seem to get past, and maybe it's because the races have been so formful that I've just been looking at it so closely. I can't get past Stalwalkin' Dude. I think he fits the track profile. He's the best horse. He's got the best, most of the best speed figures in the race. He's been facing the best company. Why would I try to go against him? The only I guess real knock on him is that being that he's a closer, he really doesn't have control of the pace, control of the race in his hands. Usually he needs to get some help. But again, if Rich pulls up the track profile, you'll see that closers do fairly well at Laurel.
Yeah,
This is a 7 furlong race. 17 wins lifetime with Star Walking Dude, 4 of them at 7 furlongs. Graded winner, multiple graded stakes place. He continues to work 3 furlong works, slow works over the Belmont training track. That's David. If you look at all of his works, every work on the page is a 3 furlong work, and every one is 37, 38, 39, 40, and 1. That's just the way Jacobson does it with this guy. And obviously it keeps him happy enough that he keeps running. And Irad Ortiz ships down from New York. My guess is he's got other mounts, yes, but this is the main reason he's here. So again, I'm going to make it easy for our purposes. I'm singling the 6, and if he doesn't win, I guess more power to everybody else. He might be an underlay. It's possible, but again, I'm the chalk eating weasel this week. And again, maybe it's because of our history, and I'm trying to learn from history as opposed to trying to go against it and keep beating my head against the wall. So still a Walking Dude for me. Ray, what do you think of the General George? And now that I was asked the question, who is your favorite General George?
General? Lot of generals.
No, Herschel Walker doesn't.
We can start with the spouses.
For the USFL fans out there, Herschel Walker does not count.
I was gonna say, you only got to choose between Washington, Patton, Marshall, or Custer.
Jersey Generals, they were pretty good, actually, at one point. Yep. All right. How about MacArthur? Yeah, you're right, Joe. Star Walking Dude, New York Sprinters leader. He's 6 or 7 furlongs. Yeah. He's our big horse. He's going down there. Going down Aqueduct, there's not much going on, so go down there, get the money. 250,000, grade 3. Jacobson, 24% chipper. I already teased it there. He needs to stay close. He should be about 3 or 4 lengths behind, so shouldn't be too bad. I guess he's the dead closer. Saludos amigos, something like that. But I like him. I was expecting him to be 8 to 5 or so. But he'll be on my ticket. I'm not gonna single him. I like another horse. I'm hoping to. I have a long shot here that hoping he'll stay on top. Number 2, a Fleet Willie. He likes the tracks. 5'8", 5'9", 8 in the exacta, 8 for 9. He's got speed. Speed's always dangerous. He comes back from 2 turns. He's been doing 2 turns a lot last year. He did run 7 furlongs last time on the lead, wide of the field. I know this is option claiming, but like we see with Melatonin and other horses that we handicapped, this is the 3 BG angle. They're stepping up, grade 3. Let him loose. His speed type, Carrasco and Gonzalez, they're 6 for 15, 40% together. And in the money, 12 for 15, 80%. So they're doing pretty good together. So I'll pick him underneath my pick. So I'll go to 6 to 2. And with budget constraints, we'll go with those 2 and keep the ticket solid. All right, Rich. Who's your favorite general?
That was a tough list, but I would on that list. I guess I would skip the obvious chalk there, and I'm going to go with General Patton being my favorite because it's always one of my all-time favorite movies, of course, as well. But that was a tough list. I ended up here on the 6. I could not get past the chalk for all the same reasons that Joe already alluded to, and you see my page is already nice and marked up with all the stuff for Stall Walking Dude. Just like I had done a little bit earlier in this one, instead of singling, though, if I was going to back it up, I wanted to back it up with a horse named Imperial Hint, Giulio Pimentel, a little bit more of a speed horse. So looking for him to kind of stretch his speed out a bit here in the General George. And again, kind of that 3 broke guys angle that Ray just kind of alluded to there, which sometimes me and Joe and Ray like to play. He has won 2 in a row. He's won 3 of his last 4. And the one race that he did not win, he actually showed a little bit of interest there at the late part of the race. Not usually his style. He's usually kind of get him from the front. So I'm just looking for a bit of a price or for looking for something besides the chalk. So I was going to back it up with Imperial Hint. Again, I'm not sure if it's Luis Carvajal. I'm not a big Laurel guy, so I'm not real familiar with him. I did see that he was a winner of his last race at 27%. I do know that Julian Pimentel is one of their better riders there at Laurel, so I thought this was worthy of a chance. I went 6-5 in the finale there. I've got Joe with the, I believe, is just the 6. And Ray, I have got you down. And Ray, you know what? Where did I put your picks here? I've got the 6.
2.
And the 2. All right. And I am coming back. And we're going to introduce a new segment here as I get ready to go ahead and clean up our template and get it ready for you. And so, without further ado, let me pull up my other screen here. Get onto this. And this week, Joe and Ray were kind enough to go ahead and share with us their individual pick 4s this week. So we go together every week and we go ahead and build a group pick 4. As you can imagine, Saturdays are a lot of fun for us. As a matter of fact, all week long was a lot of fun for us. Ray was handicapping with me this week, so we were playing Gulfstream Park together.
They wouldn't have my job.
And so this week, you guys are going to go ahead and get to see what Joe English and Ray Torrado came up with on their own. And these are the pick 4s that each of them have. And Joe, I'm going to turn it over to you to go ahead and take it away for us. Let me know. Can you guys see my screen and see the pick 4s up on the screen?
There you go. No question about it. I like I said, well, the first in race 7, the Miracle Wood, I went 1, 4, and 7. Oh Dionysus is my top choice. Again, I couldn't get past the chalk. Trouble Trip in last, should be able to make amends after losing to High Roller, who I also included on my ticket, and Eastern Bay, who's who is a big long shot in this race. He's 12-1 in the morning line, and I'm hopeful that maybe he could actually get home for my personal pick 4 ticket to get me off to a better start as opposed to having to eat chalk all the time. In the Campbell, I mentioned I would go 1, 4, 6. Super Lucky would be my top choice over Paige McKinney and Comic Destiny for all the reasons I mentioned in the earlier segment. The Barbara Fritchie, I'm going to add. I went with 1 and 3 for our purposes, but I agree with Ray about the 7, which is Clothes Fall Off. The second trainee for McLaughlin was in great form this time last year, and he placed in this spot last year. And I'd be a little bit more forgiving if she had continued working the bullet drills. She should get a decent pace, and obviously finishing second in this race last year, she showed she likes the track. And I'm going to include Wonder Gal as well. She was grade 3 placed when on the lead in the Gopher 1-2 back, and she exploded last time against Lesser. She drew outside, but the only problem I have is that she's going to have to deal with Rowdy Alley on the engine. So my guess is there might be some kind of speed duel here, but I think she's the classier of the two, and she would hold on a little bit longer. So I would take a chance that she would be the speed that would be able to go all the way. And in the last race, I actually decided to throw in a long shot on my own personal ticket, which went for $36, as you can see on the screen. And that was the number 8, Grasshoppin', who is a whopping 30-1 on the morning line. The horse is in good form. Caballero comes down from Philadelphia Park to ride. The horse has half of his wins in his life are at 7 furlongs, 2 at home base. He's been working an interesting work tab. A mile on January 26th, then a 4 furlong bullet on February 2nd. Another slow mile on February 7th, and then another 4 furlong work on February 14th. So maybe this is some pattern that Mario Serre has figured out that this horse likes to train. So I'm going to give this horse a shot as a closer on a track that generally does better for closers at 30-1 in the end. So 147, 146, 1378, and 688. $36 ticket based on a 50-cent base wager. Ray, please explain to us your pick 4 ticket.
All right, we got the same combinations, basically, like 3x3 by 4x2. So, yeah, the first race, I do like Everybody Loves Rudy. I'm hoping he gets off to a good start. and gets me off at 4-1. I did throw a high roller in there, as a chalk. He should run well, but we're looking for some prices here. Butch Walker is a kind of the wise guy horse for me. I think they're doing some changes with him. They're adding blinkers. Um, you know, stretch him out. He was wide in his last race, so things like that. But I do like everybody loves Rudy. I would probably pay another pick for him on top, singling him. So just sometimes you try and get double tickets and hit this one for $1. Sometimes um, the next race, in the in the Campbell, I do like, of course, Paige McKinney on top. He's a beast of the Laurel of the Eastern Coast tracks over there, and Maryland, and they're doing very, very well. I got two chalks in here, but I'm hoping that Chad Annuity does show come back to his true form. I'm including him. These pick fours, you try and get at least one good priced horse to get a good payout if you can stay alive. I do like him. He was good last year, and maybe just got off to a slow start this year. He could, rebound. He belongs here, Chad Annuity, so I recommend him. In the Fitchy, I did spread a little bit. I do. My top horse was a 7, close full off, 8-1. Um, so again, looking for a little price here. Um, the this horse had trouble last race at the Interborough, so I'll forgive that. And these horses, she belongs here. Take the Moon, of course, the favorite. Should be running well, be in the money. Takri's Kami is a little bit of a stretch. Um, because of the track, you need definitely. She can't control the race. You need a pace meltdown, like I said before. Step it up in class. But 6-1, I think she's gonna be a little higher than that. The Hamboy line. She might be the forgotten horse, so beware of the odds, the boards. And I did include the one High Ridge Road. Loves the course, so those horses are always dangerous. And the race 10, enough said. Star Walking Dude. Um, Class of the race. Been in great form in New York. And I'm throwing my horse, Fleet Willie, in there as a little bit of a long shot. Maybe the speed would hang up, hang in there. And I was gonna have Rich's horse. Who was it? Imperial Hint. I do like him a little bit, but to throw him in would be make the ticket huge. So I prefer Fleet Willie. Take a chance, and I think I mean it's really Star Walker's dude's race to lose. So that's why I didn't include him, and I'll go with him and my other horse. So that's my $36 pick for 567 with the 467, 1367, and the 26. All right, Rich, back to you.
Nice job, guys, gentlemen. Very nice. All right, so that's our new segment. You got to see the pick fours from the individual broke guys, and I am ready to go ahead and bring up our template over here, so you can go ahead and see what it is that we're working on. And in a shocker, we've only got a $9 pick four ticket here so far. So in the opener, I've just got the 4 and the 7. Those were the only two that I was able to find a consensus on. So we've got some room. Actually, we've got some flexibility to still add to these. In the second race, I've got the 4 and the 6. And Ray, I added the 7 for you over there. So we've got the 4, 6, and 7 in that second leg. In our third leg, in the Barber Fishy, we actually have the 1 and the 3. Those were our consensus horses. And Ray, again, I've added the 7 from your ticket, because our third horse there. And the 6 was the only one that we came up to a consensus on in our finale, Stall Walking Dude. So Ray's also got the 2. I also had the 5, but no consensus there. And $9. I didn't know if we wanted to add another horse to that opening race. We could go get all crazy and get all crazy with the cheese whiz, as our friend Todd Shrupp likes to say. We can go up to $13.50.
I don't have anything to add. We can. I'm fine with it as it is, or we can change it. I'm good one way or the other.
Ray, in that opener, I had you also down. You had either the 5 or the 6.
Yeah, I did like the 6 on top. So I did like him to win. So I don't know
We can
what,
add the 6
how much
here.
time would
and that would-
change.
Maybe just make it 1350.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. 331. Is more of a top choice. Yeah.
All right. So I've got 467 with 467 with 137 with 6.
All right.
1350.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Suppose. Hey, at
Yeah.
least then if it pays 60 some odd dollars like last week, we're making actually about 5 to 1. So that works for me.
Yeah.
Any notes that you guys wanted to share with the audience before we go ahead and wrap this up tonight? Got a few minutes here on the broadcast.
You know what? No, I mean, obviously, if anybody's been following the weather in Southern California, if you plan on handicapping Southern California, don't plan. I would be shocked I would be the most surprised person is anybody if any of their turf races actually go on turf tomorrow. I even kind of think the track will probably it's probably been sealed all day. So my guess is you'll see something wet fast tomorrow if you're handicapping Santa Anita. Of course, it has nothing to do with Laurel. Like I said, I'm just Ray. Just go. If your wife's saying it's okay to go, man, why are you even waiting? Just say when she says that when she says that you say yes, honey, may I have another?
I know at this time of year you don't get much good racing like that, so it's on the agenda. So
what Rich, I don't know if anybody knows what time is first post at Laurel tomorrow. I know.
I think it's 12:30. I think.
I think the first post for the pick 4 is it 3:30?
Pick 4. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, pick 4 was 3:30.
Yeah.
3:30. No, yeah, I'm talking more like to Ray. What time does he have to figure out that he's got to go? Maybe he can get there tomorrow.
I think 12:30. So
12:30. So you're talking
3-hour drive.
Okay. Anyway, but other than that, you know what? I don't even know if I have any notes. Other than
my son has stomach virus, so he's been under the weather. So that's why I was a bit late now because had a little episode just before.
Okay.
For your kids,
you've got
viruses go around.
Well, actually, I did have a note, and I wanted to maybe I should just bring it up now, Rich. I know you guys got the same PPs that I got from Brisnet that didn't have the 10th race until yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, because it was funny because I handicapped the 6th race. I handicapped the 6th race.
I did also.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Anyway, so just to say hello to the Brisnet people out there, guys. Can you please make sure if it's user error, it's one thing. If you don't give us the right forms, you're kind of putting us behind the 8 ball.
But Joe, now we can play the pick 5 if they have one.
You know what? I don't know if they have a pick 5.
I'm not sure, but it's a possibility.
I guess.
Oh, I missed your question, Rich, about
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right. So you know what? I, before I sign off tonight, and Ray, why don't you tell us which one of the tracks did you like the most out of Charlestown, Morgantown, Penn National, Kentucky Downs, or even last week at Tampa Bay?
I did like Kentucky Downs Spain because it was the first time I ever did that, and we ever did that, and the configuration of the track was like country-like. It was like very nice, and I did enjoy that. Those races, watching them, it looked like you were like, at the farm, and like somebody put their track on their ranch. So it did look good. I did like the atmosphere of it. Kentucky Downs. That was my favorite.
Interesting to note. That's a sweep for those of you who are fans of the dueling grounds down there in Franklin, Kentucky. For the 3 broke guys, all 3 of us chose Kentucky Downs as our favorite alternative track, if you like. So, all right. For those of you watching, if you enjoyed the show, we will be back next week because, well, that's what the 3 broke guys like to do. we're going to get together. We will take a look at another exciting card. This time it's going to be the Fairgrounds in New Orleans. All right, gentlemen, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's always a pleasure to handicap with the two of you.
Yes, always a pleasure.
Yes, it is.
For Joe English and Ray Torado, I'm Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching Three Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck and good night.